One of my favorites. I think people sometimes get a bit scared of them because they live in the middle of bandit territory. So before this enclosure was built, this was all bandit land. So these guys end up getting into fights with the bandits a lot. You can see we've got chicken wire at the bottom of the enclosure.
Yes.
That's to stop the monkeys putting their arms through and hurting each other. We have a double amputee in here, Fiona, who's lost both of her arms. And we have some bandits that have almost lost arms from fights here, so not anymore. We'll go around this way. They're expats. That's why they have so many behavioral problems. Again, we don't know what's going to set them off, what they don't like, what they've experienced. We don't know everything for sure. I'm going to stand slightly further away from you because he doesn't always like when people stand close. And that might be why he's being a bit aggressive. He's also, if he doesn't know you, it can take a little bit of time for them to warm up to you. And it could even be that, for all we know, his owner wore a hat like yours. Now he's decided he doesn't like you because of your hat. Like, we don't know. Okay. Small things like that can irritate them.
Oh, yes.
He's a male or female?
Exactly, yes. So if his owner was a man, then he might be scared of men. If his owner was a female, then maybe he actually likes females more because he wants them, you know? We can't know. If we could talk to them, life would be a lot easier, but we don't know their history.
Why you can't know?
Why we can't know? We just don't have the information at all. A lot of the times when monkeys are brought to us, people know they've had them illegally and they don't want to tell us the truth about where they got them or how long they've had them.
Yeah.
And we don't want to pry too much because we need to have people know this is a safe space.
Yes.
And when they bring the monkeys here, we're not going to turn them into the police, you know, otherwise no one brings us their monkeys.
Yeah, sure.
So Prince has a abnormal behaviour. You'll see him sucking his hand like this a lot. It's possible that's self-soothing. Sometimes you see the babies do it as well. If they don't have a mum to suck on or they weren't given blankets or anything, it could have just been wherever he was kept. That's the only way he had to soothe himself. And so sometimes he'll sit by the fence doing that. Princess, we can't see right now. I'm not sure where she is. But she is a lot more... Ah, yeah. Yeah, she is. She's a lot more low ranked than Prince. So you can see he's starting to suck his fingers now.
Oh, yes.
And he will always keep her in her place. She's a lot more skittish, but that also means if he shows aggression to her, she can redirect that aggression onto us, because that's how she makes it seem that she's not the weakest one around. So we have to be very careful of their dynamic. Before you approach, you always want to know where they both are, because you don't want to come up to this corner to try find them and then find out they're actually directly above you. Princess's side is all chicken wired, so it's a little bit harder to get to the waterfall, but I'll show you how we do it. I'll probably ask for these ones if you guys stay back for this time, so that it's not three of us approaching them, because they're a little bit grumpy
Yes, sure.
But there are holes. Princess's waterfall is just here. It's luckily fine, but there are holes in the chicken wire just here, and also you can get through just here that you can pour the water in if needed, and the stick can go through here. When using the stick with all monkeys, but particularly D&D ones, if they're grumpy, they'll come and grab the stick like this. It's just important to stay completely still and wait. And if you're trying to do the water, you stay still, and then when they leave, you can go in a bit further. Sometimes it can take a while if they're in a particularly bad mood, but it's better than having a finger like Nicola's.
Oh, yes.
And for the forage on this side, I always try and put forage on both sides, because otherwise Princess doesn't get any, because he steals everything. So I always start with him. And if you don't want to approach him, you can actually just put all the forage up here.
I thought about this,
Yeah. And he can get it from there. And with her, I tend to put the forage just in here. And she can grab it through this gap in the door, because obviously it's hard to get it through any of the chicken wire. And then she'll pull the seed pods off at a time. And then his water is also fine. But he is one of the monkeys that is always pooping in his water bowl.
So you always have to change the
Always
water.
have to check it. He hasn't today. It's
Ah,
a miracle.
okay.
He knew we had visitors, so he's being polite.
Why do you say this is princess rather than prince? Water bowl.
Just because she spends her time that side, he spends his time this side. They go back and forth sometimes, but generally this is hers. It's like they're just neighbors and they visit each other. So, Nicholas, also an expat, just like the other two. We don't know exactly what's going to set him off. He's a big fan of grabbing the stick whenever you try to change his water. And he also has a habit of washing all of his food in his water bowl. So he'll take his food out of the bucket, wash it, eat some of it, and then drop the rest in there. And he does that all the time. So his water gets pretty gross. There's another one. It's really important you know where he is before you approach, because he can jump at the fence.
Okay.
And he's also the main reason that I have a super long stick, because I can get a bit grumpy about it. And if he comes close, just wait, pause until he moves away.
Ah.
If the water bowl is dirty as well, then I'll hold it up, put a bit of fresh water in, swirl it around and
rinse it.
empty it. It's pretty clean right now, so you can just top up. And I'll show you how I would do.
Well, I can do it if you want.
Just because he's really grabby, I'll
Okay.
just show you how I would do it to make sure. I'm gonna go for you. So I would always hold the watering can here. Place it on and keep it back as far as possible. So if it grabs, you can't reach your hand. And again, they'll all be a little bit more, thank you, more tense today because there's 3 of us.
Yeah.
And that's
Yes.
a bit overwhelming for them.
Yes.
When you do it by yourself, they're a little bit calmer.
Yes, yes, yes.
Checking
Yeah,
electricity.
we know that.
Yeah.
Mark showed us
So,
that.
cool. Fine. This fence breaks a lot.
Okay.
So I always check this one.
Yeah.
Um, she will stand apart. She does not like when people stand close to each other or if anyone else is getting attention other than her. So in front of monkeys like her as well, you never pass things to each other, you don't touch each other, and you try and not make eye contact with her while she's in a bit of a mood. She's an expat, used to being spoilt, that's why she is this way. Very overweight when she came to us. Has actually lost quite a lot of weight, but you can still see she's got a bit of a hanging belly. And Bentley here is actually the male I told you about from Engelke, who we had to separate from his son. So Phoebe's lived with a couple of monkeys while she's been here, but the latest one passed away. She was by herself. So when Bentley and his son Jet started fighting, we thought it was a good opportunity to bring Bentley up here and see if they get on with each other. And they do. They're pretty happy together. They keep each other company, they sleep together, they groom, so it's just a nice interaction for them. Neither of them will be integrated into the troop, unfortunately. Phoebe's just too humanized, and she doesn't know how to behave as a monkey. So that makes it very difficult for a troop to accept her, but also for her to feel safe in a troop. And Bentley, similar story. He's got a lot of behavioral problems. It's very difficult to get him into a troop. But they get on quite well, just as they are.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same signal that Mika, except she's older.
Yeah. And the older they are, the harder it is to integrate.
Yes.
And the harder it is for those behaviors to be unlearned, because she's had so many years to learn them, whereas Mika it's only been a year, we still have a chance of teaching her how to be a monkey. But once they get to this stage, it's not that there's no hope and we completely give up, but we have to prioritize the monkeys that are most likely to get into troops. And especially, like we said, with not having many people here, we have to go for what we think is the best option for the monkeys. To take the divider out just to see what happened. When we do that, we usually have something like a bucket of water. So if they start fighting, we throw water on them.
Yes, yes.
Calms them down.
Like for dogs.
Which is
Yeah.
advice for dogs, yes.
Yes. But we didn't need it for these guys. They're settled in pretty naturally to being with each other. Bentley is a lot more dominant, which is really unusual because Phoebe, in her past pairings, has been the dominant personality. But I think part of the reason she's started to lose weight is that he doesn't let her eat all of the good food all of the time. So it's good that she has a dominant male, because otherwise she just walks all over everyone and takes what she wants and stays huge. But she's actually a lot healthier the past few months than when I got here, so it's been good for her, I think.
The cage is very clean.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, there must be some pods, not everywhere, but a few pods here and there.
Definitely. In the mornings you'll
some-
see it, because the workers come by sort of maybe 9 o'clock in the morning to do the raking. So if you look before then, there's all the food from the previous day, the seed pods, you know, and anything in the intro cages. But because in the wild they'd be moving around so much,
Of course.
they don't sit in their own feces, they don't sit with the moldy food. So we have to make sure we're not letting parasites grow and cleaning it out every day. The workers don't do it on weekends because they have half days, so they prioritize all the food, and then on Monday they do a really good big clean out. So on the weekends you'll notice it builds up more.
And do they poop anywhere?
Yeah,
Yeah.
anywhere. Yeah. See? Okay.
Including on our car.
Yeah, of course. I wouldn't leave you out.